way I see India's development model is for us to ensure the upliftment of our weaker sections and the mainstreaming of all those in our society who have been kept out of this mainstream for such a long period. CSR, to my mind, is an instrumentality. It is a means by which we can help to bring in the marginalized, the poor, the isolated into the mainstream of our development process. This can happen because for the first time, India's vision of having a CSR law, of having a specific section in the Companies Act dealing with CSR, allows corporates to use a small part of their profits in accelerating India's development. In a word, it is not as though government will step back. The primary duty of government to ensure that the poor get a fair deal remains true and firm. But what will now happen is that corporate money, corporate genius, corporate ability to innovate, corporate's quick response time will ensure that projects specifically intended for the upliftment of the poor actually get done better. And also at the same time, they would synergize with, complement and supplement the efforts of government. This is broadly the holistic vision of making sure that corporate and government work together, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, to ensure that our development process is accelerated. This model is unique by itself, nowhere tried on the globe. We hope that we will, in the near future, become the benchmark for all other nations on our planet. Well, the need of the hour actually has 3 or 4 important components. First of all, we must break the trust deficit between the implementation agencies, namely the NGOs, the trusts, the not-for-profit companies, and the corporate entities. Because the success of our CSR program will depend on how these two work together. When this actually happens, there will be an important role for government also to play. Government in various ministries and as a general overseer has to try and facilitate this process. We in the IICA also have a fairly substantial role. We tend to look at the national picture, try and present those items to government where perhaps policy interventions are necessary. And then, of course, we need to engage with communities at the grassroots level. When we try and implement a program of this breadth and this magnitude, the engagement of our beneficiaries at the grassroots is essential to the success of the program. In my vision, therefore, the need of the hour is a holistic vision from government, the bridging of the trust deficit, and ensuring that communities at the grassroots level are fully involved in what we do with, by, and for them.
What message would you like to give to the corporate India to run a successful CSR campaign?
First of all, to believe in CSR, not to play lip service. To understand that now we have moved away from the old ideas of writing checks and doing philanthropy. We have moved into the area of strategic CSR, the vision of implementing projects right down at the ground. And therefore, not only believing in the fact that they are now partners with government in the development process, but believing that engagement with communities, working with implementation agencies, imparts to them a very, very rare opportunity. Utilizing the profits that they have made, or a small proportion of it, ensuring that work gets done, projectivizing the work that they do, monitoring carefully, and at the end being true to their conscience, by evaluating what they do objectively so that we leave together a permanent imprint on the ground. The impact of what we do must be visible and lasting. Only then will CSR be truly meaningful. Without doubt, the fact is that unless we engage the youth of this country, unless we bring them on board as the leaders of tomorrow, and we help in converting the education that they have into employable skills, in making them part of this vision, not just a part, an integral part, working with them, bringing them into the ambit of all that we do, will ensure a great future, not for the country itself, but for the future generations.